We've been talking about this storm for a while now, and it is finally here, bringing a cold front from parts of the Midwest all the way down to the East Coast, and you can see that system blowing on through. In this update, I've got the details on the severe weather in the Midwest, the wintry side of this system, and we're tracking high temperatures over the next several days. Everything right here. Thank you so much for joining me here at One Nation Weather. Check out the Weather Bell trial, as always, in the description for the maps I use in this video. And please hit the subscribe button to help me get now to my next goal, which is 4,000 subscribers. Thanks again for helping me hit 3,000 subscribers just a couple days ago. Let's take a look at that future radar, and as you can see, we've got a pretty strong system that's going to make its way through the Midwest, Great Lakes, all the way eastward there with a cold front along it. Let's talk about the severe weather side first. If you're here for the rest of the aspects of the system, skip about 7 minutes into this video. We're getting a look at the in-depth severe weather breakdown here. First of all, as I film this on your Monday evening tonight and into our early Tuesday morning, that's what this hail outlook encompasses. We've got a little bit of some elevated supercell activity that could occur over parts of Indiana, northern Kentucky, western Ohio, and southern parts of Michigan. And essentially what that means is the potential for some hailstones and maybe some wind gusts where a brief tornado will be possible overnight tonight. You can see as we go 5-6 a.m. in the morning here on our Tuesday morning over parts of south central Indiana through parts of northern Kentucky. Got model guidance here with the HRRR model, just one model, showing some showers and storms developing and moving along through there. All the way on up there towards Cleveland and Detroit, though, wouldn't rule out the hail threat. So anywhere in this yellow zone that I just circled right here on your screen, watching the potential for some 1 to maybe 1.5 inch diameter hailstones. So yes, enough to create some dents in cars and roofs there, possible overnight tonight. At least a low end threat of that, and maybe a brief tornado if we can get those storms to be more surface based. When that really begins to happen, though, is as we go in towards our Tuesday evening, where it looks like we'll have a much more potent cold front moving on through. And of course, the cold front is what's really going to be arriving on Tuesday and creating the severe weather setup that I've been hinting at for several days now. The slight risk for severe weather is extending from parts of southeast Missouri all the way on up there to southern Michigan and northwest Ohio. As the Storm Prediction Center has outlined it here, you can see that severe wind outlook here goes all the way from southeast Missouri on down there into southern Michigan and northwestern Ohio, pretty much right in line with the overall outlook. Your tornado outlook is going to be focused right along an area along the northern end of this warm front as it lifts northward there into parts of southern Michigan. So anywhere in northeast Illinois, all the way over there to northwest Ohio, that's where the best chance for tornadoes will be. But anywhere in that risk zone, stay alert as we go towards our Tuesday and Tuesday night. And then your hail outlook looks like so. The best chance for the largest hail is going to be there through parts of Chicago, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, far southern parts of Michigan, and northwestern Ohio. Some stones could get up there to around 2 inches in diameter. And part of the reason for severe weather is your surface dew points, and of course, if you're looking for a severe weather setup, the best moisture is going to come with about a 65 to a 70 degree reading on the dew points. You know, we're getting up there closer to 55 to 60, which is sufficient enough out ahead of these cooler and drier dew points. All the lower numbers mean is that it's drier air content here in the atmosphere. You can see by the time we go towards around 7-8 o'clock here on our Tuesday, you can make out that cold front moving through parts of northern Missouri, stretching all the way on up there to Wisconsin as that low develops in that region of the Great Lakes. The warm front is going to be in southern Michigan at this point, priming that environment with the best possible dew points, which looks like they're going to be, around 60 with the model guidance here through parts of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri out of that model guidance here. This is the NAM model continuing to show that cold front progress southeastward, and once you get behind that cold front, you're in the safe zone, but for now it does look like storms will be continuing overnight Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning to some extent over parts of Indiana, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, even on over there into Ohio and parts of Michigan as well. We will be watching that, and then the drier air moves on in. Now, this is your significant tornado parameter. Just because your numbers on this scale are high doesn't mean you're actually getting tornadoes. It just means the environment is prime for tornadoes. You can see around 7 o'clock here Tuesday evening, it does look like some of those numbers getting upwards of 5 there, especially through parts of northwest Illinois, especially in this box I'm circling or boxing out right now on your screen. You can see it looks through northern Illinois, northern Indiana. That's where the Storm Prediction Center is saying close to that warm front, but just behind it in that warm sector, that is where we could get a few surface-based storms to produce tornadoes. So we'll continue to watch this zone I'm circling right here as we go throughout the late evening hours of our Tuesday. But anywhere in the risk zone tomorrow, I'm telling you, be weather alert and know that most interior room of your house, always check weather.gov, your home, your building, whatever. Always check weather.gov to figure out when storms are over your area. That is weather.gov. That is your local National Weather Service office. We'll pull up there, and you can search for it once you get onto that site. Now, the NAM model guidance, I'm going with what most of our earlier day HRRR model guidance has been showing as well. Over north central Illinois, that's where the best chance for severe weather looks to activate here as we go 7-8 o'clock in that perfect time frame, right? So right when the sun goes down, these storms firing on up there through central and northern Illinois, from Bloomington all the way on up there to Chicago and Joliet, those areas. Watching this around Lake Michigan. All of this zone I'm circling here needs to be on high alert as we head 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening here on your Tuesday. Could we see some storms as far south as parts of southern Indiana? We have seen that out of some of the guidance from the HRRR model. This is just one model I'm showing you right now. So again, anywhere through the area that's under that warm sector, the cold front hasn't passed through yet, needs to be just at least monitoring those alerts as we go through our Tuesday night and into our early Wednesday morning. The NAM itself showing the strongest intensity of those storms continuing just south of that warm front there into southern Michigan overnight, Tuesday night and into our Wednesday. But notice we still see some isolated clusters trying to kind of run this cold front here as it progresses out of central Missouri and Illinois on down there closer to parts of Louisville, Kentucky by the 4, 5 a.m. time frame here on our Wednesday morning. So if you live anywhere there through parts of southern Ohio, really most of Ohio even, all the way on back there through parts of western Kentucky, there could be at least a little bit of a severe threat still lingering, mostly for some gusty winds at this point, but maybe a brief spin up as well as this line continues heading eastward towards Appalachia throughout the day on our Wednesday. And you can see that line probably packing some gusty winds around it, just overall system related, but at that point the severe weather threat winding down. But again, you can see what really brings up our severe weather threat, those yellows. That's where you're getting up to that 2,000 joules per kilogram of surface-based CAPE with that HRRR model late Tuesday. And what that means is that you're getting about 2,000 on a 6,000 scale. So you're getting about a third of the way up there, which isn't bad. So overall ingredients coming together well enough for me to keep that 3 out of 7 on my severe weather scale for Tuesday and Tuesday night here. Anywhere from southeast Missouri to western Pennsylvania needs to be on alert for at least the potential of hail, but the best chance for some wind tornado threat to develop there is going to be through parts of Illinois and Indiana especially, as well as on down there into southern Michigan. Now, just looking at the overall extent of this system using the NAM model into our Tuesday morning, looking like there's going to be some decent snowfall on the northwest side of the system, showers and storms beginning to progress. We'll at least see some showers all the way as far south as parts of East Texas out of the system as it looks at this point. Wednesday around, say, midnight, 1 a.m. in the early morning hours of our Wednesday from parts of Nebraska and Kansas all the way on up there to Wisconsin. Looks like a brief shot of snow will be kind of tailing this system as that low moves through the Great Lakes. Notice some of that heavier snow kind of breaking out as just right behind that cold front. So you might get storms in the evening, Tuesday evening there into parts of Chicago. The warm sector remains in the eastern part of the United States as we go towards our Wednesday morning. But in a place like Chicago, by the time you're waking up Wednesday morning, commuting to work, things like that, we might actually have snow crashing over through there. Not only there, but in Indiana, western Kentucky, into Appalachia here in this zone I'm circling. The models have consistently indicated some brief snow trying to flash on through Detroit, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, all areas that have pretty much some sort of storm threat at some point with this system on Tuesday night. And as we go into Wednesday again, that little shot of snow moving through, and then eventually that heads into the interior New England region, as most of our shower and storms will be pushing off the Carolina coastline there as we head towards our Thursday early morning. And we really begin to get this system out of our hair as we go towards the sunrise hour time frame of our Thursday. Just cooler and slightly breezier conditions continuing there over the east. Overall, though, clearing out at that point. Now, total rainfall, if you live anywhere from parts of northern Tennessee and through parts of Kentucky all the way on over there, close to the east coast, this is where in this zone I'm circling, the best chance for about a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall will be possible. Some local areas, though, in the heavier thunderstorms we get there in Ohio, remember we talked about that early round that comes tonight as I film this video, and then multiple rounds of some rain there by the time we go through Wednesday morning there over parts of western Pennsylvania as included in that as well. Some local spots up to 3 to 4 inches there. Flood threat is overall remaining on the low side of things, though, nonetheless. And then as we take a look at the total snowfall, again, really active over the west, very heavy high elevation snow by the time we go towards the end of this week. A little pocket of snow could get going over North Dakota and far northern Minnesota towards the beginning of this system. But, those zones that I was just showing for you here on the NAM model, this is where we've kind of got that suspicious 1 to 2 inch zone. A lot of places right here in this zone I'm kind of highlighting here for the snowfall. That's where the model blend is showing about 1 inch or 2. So anywhere through the Midwest, the Great Lakes, through the interior Northeast. I don't think this is going to make it to Boston necessarily. Just prepare for some brief flakes. Probably nothing major, especially for commuters that far north. Not really a big deal. Just take it slow on the roads if there are some heavier pockets of snowfall. in terms of our wind gusts, one last thing to kind of take an in-depth look at with this system. You can see by the time we go towards our Tuesday evening, we've got wind gusts continuing to increase that fire danger maybe over parts of the high plains, although the air will be much cooler at that point. You can see through the central plains we get some 30, 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts by the time we go Tuesday night. Into our early Wednesday morning, the highest wind gusts will be concentrated over the Midwest as well as parts of pretty much the central and mid-south part of the United States there. And then look at how this system activates as it heads eastward. This is a trend that's been kind of uptrending here with the HRRR model and some of that shorter range model guidance. Anywhere along the East Coast and Great Lakes region needs to be watching out for whatever kind of wind direction you're getting out of this. It might be from the south along the East Coast at this point Wednesday morning, from the northwest if you're in the Great Lakes at this point. Doesn't really matter. Watch out for some 40, 50, maybe even 55 mile per hour wind gusts. And again, check weather.gov because that's where you're going to get those latest alerts like wind advisories, high wind warnings as they come out. But it does look like we'll get any of the potential for some of those and any of those alerts really from parts of the central United States and especially towards the East Coast. One last thing to look at, high temperatures day by day here. You can see, Tuesday afternoon, we're looking at teens and even single digits there over the Dakotas as that cold front moves through. But look at this, we've got 70s and 80s out ahead of it there from parts of the Arklatex all the way on up there, even to southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin. Anywhere in those boxes, that's where you're looking at record highs. So well above average temperatures there out ahead of this cold front. We lose a lot of the record-breaking temperatures as we go to Wednesday. And remember, this cold front isn't just stationary like this high temperature graphic makes it look, but you can see the National Digital Forecast database highlighting those 70, 75 degree temperatures through parts of the Ohio Valley, the East Coast there, all the way on down to Florida as we go through the day Wednesday. Look at this though, as soon as that cold air is through the plains, it is back to warm air. By the time we go into this weekend, Saturday, starting to warm back up, some records back over the upper Midwest as 60s and 70s filter northward. And another system will be worth watching as we head towards, say, the Sunday-Monday time frame of next week. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that probably in a video I'll have out, probably Wednesday here, as I'm probably not going to make a video tomorrow. But as we go into Wednesday, I probably will have a new video out there. So take a look for that. But for now, please hit that subscribe button so I can keep you ahead of every storm. Thank you so much for watching, and that is it for this video. Have a good one, everyone.